Hello and welcome to tonight's weather video. We'll take a look at the weather as we get into the later part of October. What you see here is a cold front that is approaching that is going to put an end to this. Today we had a really warm day across the area. It hit 70 at Islip. So we'll actually first go over the weather at Islip today. So high of 70, which is 7 degrees above normal. Low of 50, which is 4 degrees above normal. Putting us 6 degrees above normal. Still below normal on the rainfall, 2.07 month to date. So normally we'd see 2.44. We'll go ahead and look at yesterday's as well. So Saturday we had a high of 66 and a low of 44, which was 2 degrees below normal for the low. The high of 66 was 3 degrees above normal, but it all canceled each other out. We were at normal for the day. And then looking at Friday, a high of 65 and a low of 49. Still about 2 degrees above normal for Friday. We'll go ahead and look at what we got going on out there right now. 66 at Islip. Dew points up to 60, so it's definitely gotten a little more humid out there. West Hampton, 64. Got down to 43 this morning. Now, West Hampton got down to 43, and we'll take a look at what it got down to on Saturday morning, because that's what I'm really curious about. But there was radiational cooling tonight. It got down to 43, and then let's see what we got down to. Wow, it got down to 32 Saturday morning. So, yeah, Saturday morning was pretty chilly. Pretty chilly. Yeah, and they hadn't turned the heat on in my building yet either, by the way. Not that I really care. I like it cool, but still. Yeah, 32. So pretty chilly in the Pine Barrens areas, and see how Miller Air Park did. Wow, they got down to 41. So, yeah, if you're in the Pine Barrens, you had some really good radiational cooling. That's because the air before today, you can see the humidity is definitely higher today. And Miller Air Park, they got up into the 70s today. Let's see, they got up to 75 there. But if you look at the dew points earlier on, you can see we had low humidity. Yesterday we had low humidity as well. So you have low humidity, light winds, clear skies at night. You do see that radiational cooling. And it got down to 35 on Saturday morning and at the Ocean County Airport. So you do see that radiational cooling when you have the dry air. But when it's humid, you're not going to see it. And we're definitely not going to see it tonight, especially with the clouds coming in. So looking at the highs today, you can see highs. South Shore, upper 60s, East End, mid-60s. Around 70 elsewhere in the middle of the island, North Shore. Let's see, Central Park got up to 69, 72 at LaGuardia. And then as you go into central Jersey, it's actually really hot around Edison, 77. If you think Toms River's hot, and it can get hot there, it's actually hotter up here because you're even further away from the ocean. Places like Somerville, close to 80 degrees there today. Very hot over there. Whereas here, you are by the ocean, so you do sometimes get a breeze, which the hottest part of New Jersey is definitely this central area here. And looking at the lows, the lows were, let me get that off the lows. We had lows around, still pretty chilly this morning, got down to around 50. Yeah, didn't need the AC until that south wind kicked in and then the humidity started coming up later today. You can see 43 in the Pine Barrens, pretty chilly. Though the alley only got down to around 50. Still cooler than LaGuardia. Got down to 55 at LaGuardia and Central Park. Yeah, let's go and look at the map here, the weather map that we got. So, is that what? Oh, that's not the right one. Well, I guess maybe I didn't put it up here. We have a cold front approaching, and there is a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms, believe it or not, that has been put over our area for the early morning hours with this cold front. And it's mainly going to be a wind threat with this. Let's go look at the current radar. And I'm pretty sure something is wrong here because there should be more stuff. There it is. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. The rest of this is not showing up. But you can see here, there's a whole area of rain over here in central PA and Ohio. So that's going to be moving toward us. But it will tend to weaken as it moves east. Let's look at, and we can also look at the satellite here, and I could just see if we have any thunderstorms here. I don't really see any thunderstorms. I think they might be further west. We'll go to the CONUS, I guess. Let's see if we can see any. I don't think there are any thunderstorms at the moment. Yeah, there aren't any. But there are some showers in here. So we will be getting, we do have an opportunity for some rain tonight. There is a coastal flood statement in effect for Monday morning because of the strong southerly winds. We have a bit of an LLJ that's going to be occurring. So, and we'll first talk about this, and then we'll talk about the rest of the period, I guess. So this cold front here, you can see that we have here on the GFS tight isobars, which means wind ahead of this cold front. And that's where we're going to have this threat with wind with this cold front that we have approaching. So I'll briefly go over the rest of the month here briefly. Just go to the European here. Understand with what I'm going through. I just can't be as thorough as I used to with this kind of stuff, especially if there's nothing really major going on. So there's that little trough coming through, bringing in a cold front. And then we're going to have another. We have a number of troughs coming through this week. Here's another one. Wednesday into Thursday, and then here we are seeing some ridging toward the end of the month, and then a really deep trough as we get into November. And this could all bring some colder weather with it. So if we look at our temperature anomaly charts here, and I'm just going to look at the European here at this point, we'll have another day that's going to slightly cooling off above normal, and then you start seeing that below normal here starting to make its way into this week. Still a lot of above normal in Canada, though. But you do see some shots of cooler air, though nothing really dramatically, despite and that's just because, again, look at all the heat that's going on over here. And they had a major disaster in Alaska, too. I got to share a video about that. Remnants of a typhoon came and caused a lot of flooding over there. But, yeah, these temperatures are way above normal, even way up in Canada. It's all very disturbing, to say the least. I'm just kind of curious as to what the actual temperature is here. And, yeah. Not even much below freezing here. Look at how, there's no real cold air. We're going into November. There's barely any really cold air up there. So it really doesn't spell that there's going to be any really big, major cold snaps with a pattern like this. All right, so that's what it's looking like to me anyway. But let's go ahead and look at the surface. So we have this cold front come through, and there'll be a series of cold fronts. This is opportunity rain for one, and there's a severe threat with this, so we're going to get into that. High pressure briefly builds in, and then we have another cold front coming through overnight. Most of these are all overnight into Tuesday into Wednesday, and then that's your more stronger trough that's going to bring some cooler air in. High pressure builds in, and then as we head into next week, we start seeing that return flow, and you see. This is where things get a little more interesting here. So it is trying to develop a tropical system and perhaps some more opportunities for rain around the end of the month, Halloween. So we do have a couple of opportunities for rain. So at least we have that. Because nothing's changed on the drought monitor. We're still in a moderate drought. I'm not going to pull it up, but let's focus on this severe weather threat that we have. We're going to the HRRR first here. The 0 is the HRRR here. And you see the isobars are very tight together. And a little bit of a kink there. When you see a kink like that, that means that there is a strong boundary. And along that boundary, a strong or severe thunderstorm could develop. And most of it seems like you could see how the rain kind of fizzles. And then it starts redeveloping toward the east end. And I think the best chances are actually going to be eastern Suffolk County for a stronger thunderstorm. And then there's a nice line. If you're in Massachusetts, you're going to get a nice squall line out of this. But for the rest of us, we should see some slow improvement as the day goes on, though still breezy. And then the next system comes in as we get later into Tuesday night. There is an LLJ with this. Let's go ahead and look at this. Here's the LLJ. Nothing really crazy to write home about this LLJ. Certainly not that strong of an LLJ on the HRRR. So that's why I think the threat for severe weather is definitely marginal. I don't think we're going to see any severe thunderstorm watches, but it could be a slight chance of some severe, marginal, really. This is the lowest category there is, but mainly because some of these showers could bring in some winds, all right, with this. This is the HRRR. Let's go to the NAM. We'll go ahead and look at a different model here, which will visualize this LLJ. The NAM sometimes can be a little more robust, but still, it seems like the LLJ doesn't really get going until it gets past our area. So, to me, it seems like a we're not really going to see any severe weather out of this. Go to the NAM here. So here's the NAM, and you can see this. Not even much rain developing here, so it doesn't really like it's giving us much. The best chances are going to be east. This is what the latest NAM looks like here. At least this is the latest one, the 0Z NAM that we're looking at here. So if we look at the NAM here and take a look and see how much total accumulated precipitation there is here, it's not really a whole lot. Barely a quarter of an inch for most of the area, barely. And you'd have to go out into eastern Suffolk County where you start seeing closer to a quarter of an inch to maybe a half an inch as you get toward the Twin Forks, the east end. Let's see if how the HRRR pans. Let's see how the HRRR does this. Similar idea with the HRRR. So most of us aren't really going to see much rain at all from this. It looks like the best chances are going to be eastern Suffolk County, so anywhere east of the William Floyd, generally speaking. At least some of the Pine Barrens will get into some of this rainfall because we're still, again, kind of dry. So now that we looked at all that, we'll go ahead and look at the dew points and wind flow and show you this cold front here that we have. So you can see that humid air that comes in, and then we see that front come through and slowly and really quickly cut that humidity down very quickly, very quick drop. Dew points drop into the 40s by the afternoon with a gusty west wind, and then as we get into Tuesday, the winds go a little more west. They start west and then they go a little more southwest, and then we have our next front that's approaching with the winds backing off to the south again. Temperatures tonight won't drop much. Won't drop much at all. Probably stay into the 60s. And look at that. There's that very well-defined front there. And then tomorrow, where there will be more sunshine, it looks like over southern parts of New Jersey, you will see temperatures get up into the mid-60s. But for the rest of us, temperatures probably around 60. There'll probably be more clouds, Long Island, and then more clouds to the north. And perhaps the isolated chance of a shower. And then tomorrow night, temperatures do drop back into the 40s. And then Tuesday winds up being pretty warm again. Temperatures close to 70 if you're in Jersey. Long Island, a little cooler with 60s. But, yeah, we see that warm up ahead of the next cold front. All right, so if we go ahead and we look at the European model here, which we'll go ahead and look at, visualize this next cold front, you'll see here that southerly winds that are coming up, but not a whole lot of moisture here. So again, I don't think we're going to see all that much rain from this front here. If we look at the European here, you can see the dew points again drop by Wednesday afternoon, and then we stay with a west flow right into Friday, northwest flow right into the weekend. Here, this is the 18Z run of the European, but you can see right into the weekend we're staying in a west flow. So it should be fair once we get through this. After the rain threat on Wednesday, we should have fair weather. So go to total accumulated precip. You see, not a whole lot here. It does add some more on that Tuesday night event, but not much. Not much. We're not really going to see much rain from the next two systems. It looks like that seems to be the trend at this point. We'll go ahead and see if the GFS has a similar idea, and it does. It generally does. So you can see that it does the same thing where it has most of the rain falling off to the east. Not a whole lot of moisture to work with. As you see, the dew points aren't that high. And if we go to the 700 to 300, there's another tool we can use here just to show you the moisture in the air. Not really a whole lot. Barely any. So without that, it's kind of moisture starved at this point. All right. Kind of moisture starved. But what we will see are temperatures drop. So looking at the air temperatures here, as we get toward Wednesday, we start seeing that temperature drop here. All right, that's probably our last day. We're going to see mid-60s. And then by Thursday, we're going to be struggling to reach 60 degrees and only 50s. Friday, still cooler with temperatures only in the 50s. And then Saturday, again, pretty cool. Temperatures only in the 50s, mid to upper 50s, so maybe a little bit below normal for this time of the year. So I guess now that we've covered the temperatures, I guess we'll go ahead and look at sky cover. And we'll go to the RGEM for that. We have the 18Z RGEM to work with, which we'll start with. So here's tomorrow. Obviously, we have clouds moving into night, and then tomorrow we'll have a good deal of clouds around according to the RGEM throughout the day. It looks like maybe to the south, there'll be less clouds. On Tuesday, we'll have sun, but then as we get toward the later part of the day, we'll probably see some increasing. It looks like it's got some area of high clouds offshore, and then here's the clouds with the cold front that come in on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, we again try to clear. We may have some passing cumulus, but it looks like Wednesday should be mostly sunny after the rain threat in the morning. Now the models kind of have a different opinions on this, but obviously it looks like your mostly sunny days are going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and I can't go any further than that on this model. We'd have to go to the GFS. Let's do the GFS. So here's the GFS. This Wednesday, Thursday, you can see more clouds tend to be to the north. Friday, it's a low resolution model, but you can see it does have some more clouds around for the weekend, it looks like. This is the GFS, though. So I don't think there's any rain with those clouds, though. I'm pretty sure not. It's just clouds. Yeah, there's no rain threat with those clouds. Probably just high clouds streaming in or whatever. Fair weather clouds. But the NAM is kind of a different idea what the clouds are. This is the 0Z NAM. The clouds, at least the last one I looked at. So let's go ahead and look at this one here for tomorrow. So you can see it starts off with clouds, then it kind of tries to clear it out a little bit. It's a little more cloudier than the 18Z run. The 18Z run was a little clearer, so it's increased the clouds amounts somewhat for tomorrow because you still have the troughiness behind it. And then Tuesday, this is as far as it goes for Tuesday. If I want to look at Tuesday, then I got to go to the 18Z run for Tuesday. It looks fairly mostly sunny, though. The only issue could be some high clouds that it looks like they're going to stay off to the southeast. We'll have to see. Obviously, any clear sunny day, I'm going to the Pine Barrens, and most likely New Jersey. I've got to spend less time on Long Island. It's just not, this place isn't for me. I mean, or if I go out east, I go, but I stay in the Pine Barrens. I don't go to the enclaves because I really feel like I don't belong there anymore. All right, how about you leave me alone, Windows? Yeah, I know. I'm still using Windows 10, and I'm going to continue to use Windows 10 in the meantime. So, I think those are all the sky models we have. We have the FV3. This is the FV3, so let's see what the FV3 has. You can see it's got, just off to the southwest, it's got some clearer skies here, but generally more clouds to the north and east, more sun to the south and west for tomorrow, I think is the deal for tomorrow. So, with all that, let's go to the Climate Prediction Center. 6 to 10 day outlook. Still has a good chunk of the country above normal for temperatures, as you can see. There's a little sliver near normal in the 6 to 10 day along the looks like New England, part of New England, but a good part of above normal temperatures throughout much of the country. Best chances in the middle, and then below normal in the west coast there, and then precipitation, a good chance of above normal precipitation for many of us. Our area, except for Maine, the extreme northern New England, and then we have as well the above normal for very good chances above normal in the Pacific Northwest, and then go to 8 to 14 day, still having above normal precipitation chances with above normal temperatures. So again, no big cool downs, but we do see some chances for rainfall. I guess perhaps above normal chances for rainfall, though certainly these next two chances that we're seeing right now don't really look all that impressive. So I think the last thing we'll just go ahead and look at, and I look at this occasionally, is the sea ice situation here. And let's see what we've got here. So this is our graph here. This is 2025. Not seeing a rebound here. You can see the rebound is very slow. That kind of correlates with the above normal temperatures we're seeing in the Arctic right now. Sea ice today. Sea ice services reduced because of non-renewed funding. Oh, great. So this means no new monthly and mid-month analysis, limited comparison tools, and reduced support, probably because of the government shutdown. So we're not even getting sea ice services because of the government shutdown. So we may have to start looking at what other countries have to offer here. I don't know when this was, what date this was. This is still, so it's still providing this graph. So we can still use this graph, but you can see here that we're not seeing much growth in the sea ice at all, and that's not good at all. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Next weather video won't be until next Sunday. I'm only doing one a week right now, unless something major happens this week. Right now, it looks like a fairly, again, one more thing. We're just going to talk about the wind tonight. All right. And then, again, I'm going through a lot, so it's kind of hard for me to remember every single thing to talk about. So this is the wind. We're going to first start with vent to sky. The wind is a concern as we get into tomorrow, so I think that's the main issue here. We do have some wind gusts in the 40s here. Maybe some small, very isolated power outages from these wind gusts. Nothing really crazy. I think we're going to be just shy of needing a wind advisory at this point for these winds, at least from what I'm seeing right now. It's possible that in one of the showers or the thunderstorms, there will be a wind gust, and that's why there's the chance of the severe thunderstorm. Looking at Cape levels, there is some Cape here in the early morning hours. So, again, we're going to have to take a look at this and see. It's not much, but there is a small possibility. And again, the best chances are going to be eastern Long Island. It's parts of Connecticut, like past New Haven. Though Connecticut, there's some decent Cape over Connecticut too. Go to windy.com, or rather model for wind. I almost forgot this. I guess I should have done it first, but again, all I'm going through. This is all you're going to get from me. Yeah, you can see this is the European here picking up the winds, but it's picking up maybe close to 40 in some areas, but I just don't see I don't think we're going to need a wind advisor. If anything, the Euro has it windier later on with some pretty strong wind gusts here, 40. So, but still, I think we'll be just shy of the wind. But wind will be an issue tomorrow. It will be windy, just not a wind advisory kind of day, I think. So, all right, I'm done. I'll be back next weekend with the next weather video unless we have something else happen that needs to be talked about. But other than that, that's it. Have a good night.